Now another one here, the next one is LLMs.txt implementation. This is about future-proofing for AI-driven discovery. What do I mean by this? Now, this is a new signal for AI visibility that helps large language models, right, the ChatGPTs of the world, understand and cite your content more accurately. It is simply a plain text file that's placed at the root of your site, just like this. You say example.com/llms.txt. It is called llms.txt. Okay. It acts sort of like a curated sitemap, but specifically for AI systems, not for search engines. And it organizes and highlights your most valuable content for AI crawlers to reference and understand. So why does it matter? Well, some of the AI platforms like ChatGPT, we know does, actively checks for this file in the crawl logs. And a missing or an empty LLMS text file may result in reduced AI visibility or outright invisibility. It's part of a growing technical standard that lets you guide how the large language models understand your site, right? Really kind of just the beginning of this. So how does this work? Well, it's separate from your sitemap.xml file or your robots.txt file, which both have their own purposes, but this is different purpose, right? And it's for a different audience. It's built using simple markdown formatting, headings, and URL lists. I'm going to show you an example in a bit. And it helps those LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, and others know what content's worth pulling from when they're generating their answers. So it's a way to help them understand better. The pros is it's fast to implement. It's just a simple text file with a clear structure. It puts you out ahead of the curve as AI answer engines evolve, and it increases your chances of being cited in AI generated responses. The cons, well, it's not really universally supported yet. Google says they don't use it at all for their AI overviews, but that's just for now. Who knows if they decide to change it tomorrow? If you wait on this rather than go ahead and try to do the implementation now, you're going to be behind the eight ball on this. So it's still early, and there's no official documentation or enforcement across all AI platforms. But you can go check out the llmstxt.org, and this basically is a proposal that standardizes the using of the LLMS text file to provide that information to help the LLMs using the website. Okay, so you can check it out on your own here. So it's pretty in depth piece of content here, but it'll help you understand it a bit more. The best practices here is to use them, if applicable, to highlight your most valuable and trustworthy content. We're beginning to do these already. We already kind of tested this once, and we did see it have some value in ChatGPT. A little bit, I don't know if it's coincidental or not, but we saw a similar thing happen in Gemini or in Google, but I don't think it had anything to do specifically with the llms.txt file. There's no HTML in this, no tags. It's just what's called markdown headings and clean URLs. I'll show you again in a minute an example. And you want to group content by theme or purpose, which helps the LLMs infer content relationships, how things are kind of tied together, how they're related together. Okay. Use absolute URLs and not relative paths. So you want to have the full HTTPS : etc. And keep it curated, not exhaustive. You're not putting every single URL into this. It's quality over quantity. So here's sort of a sample of what you might see in an LLMS.txt implementation. All right, you have a little bit about, maybe this is the guide for whatever the website is, maybe the date you last updated it. And here you've got these high authority pages. These are your important pages, right? Here are your educational evergreen content. Here's your product or service pages. Here's your author expertise information, right? Really important that you get that kind of stuff out there. So this is all something that you can kind of work on. It's not hard, as you see. It's kind of very basic, in fact, very simple to do. You can kind of cluster these things in different ways. You can add more, of course, as just sort of a sample, as I mentioned. But this is sort of where we're starting to see things maybe moving. So just like we implement robots.txt files, just like we implemented sitemap.xml files when they started to come out years ago, they didn't exist for a while before. It's only been it's a bunch of years now, but they didn't at one point. They didn't exist. Now they do. Just like I think we're going to see llms.txt starting to get going. So it's something to know about, something to think about.